This side hustle is getting hard. This is most definitely not the content I intended to bring you this week, but it is most definitely a very accurate representation of where I find myself. And no, this video is definitely not intended as clickbait. I will tell you right from the beginning now that I have no intention of giving up my cut flower and growing and selling side hustle. But that doesn't mean I haven't been asking myself the question continuously over the last 3 weeks really. Can I do this? Can I spread myself this thinly through all of the aspects of my life? The days are short, and at this time of year our personal calendars and responsibilities make our precious time a premium. And as if readying our homes for the festive season and joining in with friends and family, plus keeping up with our very excitable children's ever-growing list of demands, I mean to say wishes, and as if that wasn't enough to contend with, we are trying to create and sell our floral products. Or at least trying to anyway. In that moment, my head hits the pillow. Reality sets in. That list of autumnal jobs does not seem to be getting any shorter. And as we approach the winter, I wonder if I will ever get my spring bulbs in the ground, or indeed plant my new bare root roses. As a new day, a new dawn begins, I go about my life in much the same way as a duck, giving the outward appearance that I've got everything completely under control, calm, cool and collected, when in actual fact my legs are paddling like hell under the surface of the water. Yesterday evening, while making Christmas wreath orders in my very small, cluttered and untidy utility room, with my family trying to go about their evening, dogs wandering through, asking me to feed them, in a moment of distraction, I managed to cut my finger on my favourite sharp floristry scissors. Having applied the initial plaster, it just kept bleeding. So I applied another, and then finally I applied a third, to which the blood still seemed to be seeping through. My ball of twine was soon tarnished in a pale red sort of colour, and I had to admit that for the time being I had been defeated. I had to stop making these wreath orders despite the fact they needed to be ready for the next day, but I had to stop. I had to wait for the bleeding to stop. Taking that moment to stop, to put the kettle on and have a cup of tea, I actually realised how very important it is to find time to stop, to walk along the river. It's not easy to keep up with those who inspire us. But remember, not everybody's situation is the same. We are all only human. And we cannot always do it all right now, right away. But tomorrow is a new day. I've had some huge wins this week to keep me in a positive frame of mind. Very few of them involve any form of gardening, but I have at least managed to get all but a handful of my dahlias dug up, boxed up and stored away for the winter. I've also managed to put a coat of paint on my living room and sort through my kitchen cupboards. But by far my biggest win was managing to move the many boxes which have been blocking my front door. Boxes of dried flowers. It's been an absolute joy to be able to answer my front door now, opposed to going into the room next door and opening the window. This way. This way. As the light fades and I get back inside my house, I'm going to put the kettle on and I'm going to sit down and have a cuppa with a well-earned treat. And hopefully I will be able to put my ever increasing list of jobs at the back of my mind until tomorrow. As always, I want to thank you for your continued motivation and support. And now why don't you take 5, 10, 20 minutes for yourselves. Go for a nice walk if it's not raining, if it's not freezing cold. Put the kettle on and just take a bit of time And as we start to say farewell to this year and it draws to a close, I'm very much hoping to be able to get out and about with my camera again to take you along with me for a long overdue tour of my garden, and also hopefully to get some new rose varieties planted in the garden. And of course, very overdue, I must get my spring flowering bulbs planted. Today I took a moment to make some lovely chocolate chip cookies. So I'm going to take a bit of a moment to myself now. I'm going to go and pop the kettle on and I'm going to sit and I'm going to eat one of my lovely cookies with a nice cup of tea and put my list to the back of my mind until tomorrow.